federal spending, but actually getting Congress to agree on the types of cuts that would help would likely take a very long time. So day one in Congress, what's a bill that you could propose to quickly cut costs for Granite Staters?
Number one, we need to freeze all federal hirings. Our federal government is not affordable. The budget is huge. We are $35 trillion in debt. But Democrats, including my opponent, blame on corporations for high inflation. Only in Washington, D.C., the government can print unlimited money and borrow in order to pay, to cover their pet projects, their priorities, but on the back of regular working class families and the fixed income seniors and the small business people. When they flood market with tons of printed money, that's how you cause inflation. It's not corporation, it's simple economics 101. I think all the politicians who don't understand that, they should go back to economics 101 schools to learn who caused high inflation. It's not the private sector, it's always the federal government who can print money. If you and I print money, we go to jail. So that's the worst situation. I like to stop that. I like to get people together to talk about what we can do in order to cut down out of control government spending.
Ms. Goodlander, to you next. You said that corporate monopolies are jacking up costs for Granite Staters and that reforming antitrust and consumer protection laws will help with that. But again, moving the needle in Congress to change that can take time. What's the fastest way to get people relief quickly?
Well, thanks. This is such an important question. People are feeling the pain of high prices right now here in New Hampshire, whether it's the cost of housing, the cost of health care, the cost of prescription drugs, all across the board. And we could take an hour to talk about each of these areas and what could be done to lower costs. There is no silver bullet here. But what I can promise you and the viewers tonight is that I will do everything in my power and fight with everything I've got to lower costs. You mentioned corporate monopolies, and what I saw on the front lines of the fight against one of the drivers of high costs serving at the Department of Justice was that we have antitrust and consumer protection laws that have been on the books for over a century. These are laws that are rooted in deeply American ideas, that no corporation is above the law. And one of the things, Ariel, that's really exciting about this area is it does get a lot of bipartisan support. We saw support from across the ideological spectrum to advance really important and basic reforms to our antitrust and consumer protection laws that will make a difference for hardworking Granite Staters who are feeling pain.
Candidates, go ahead, Lily.
Sorry, here you are again, Maggie. It's caused by federal government. You are part of a Biden administration who causes high inflation. I heard people who are in my district complaining about high cost everything, but you don't have solutions. You're just repeating DNC talking points. Do you have independent thinking skill? Or you need to go to business school to study economics 101, who actually caused inflation? It's a federal government printing money. It's $1 is devalued to 70 cents, or maybe later go to 50 cents. That's why people are buying other things rather than continue to use fiat money. They're buying gold, buying silver, buying crypto because they say US dollar is going down.
Lily, give her a chance to respond.
Well, respectfully, look, I think this is an area where my opponent and I have very different views of what should be done to make life less hard for hardworking people in the state. One of the most important things that the next Congress will take up is a question of what to do about tax fairness in this country. One of the reasons that we find ourselves in this predicament is because Donald Trump decided to advance a tax policy that was really dedicated to a basic idea, to giving a big break to the wealthiest in this country and to the biggest corporations. This is a worldview that my opponent has embraced. She believes that we should give a break to the wealthiest and the biggest corporations and hope for the best, hope that the results will trickle down to hardworking people. I take a very different approach. I believe that the middle class deserves a tax cut, and I believe that we will do a lot for this country by ensuring that we don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
Ms. Tang-Williams.
You are wealthy. You are worth $20 million to $30 million. How do you know about regular people suffering? Do you go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food? I talk to those people. And you pretend to be renter in Nashua a few months ago, moved back to run for this open seat with millions of dollars from Washington, D.C. insiders. And the millions of dollars, I don't have money to run a TV ad. And you pretend you are poor, complain rent is so high. You couldn't save that apartment for other people to rent in Nashua. Just go back to your $2 million home in Portsmouth. Please don't say that, because you do not understand regular people's concern. People cry in my arms on District 2.